Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and today we're going to be talking about a series boss battle. We're going to be talking about Chaos. Chaos is the most recent one to come out on the JP side and one of the more interesting ones because it feels like this one has been slightly held back. I'm not entirely sure if that's just because Final Fantasy 1 has almost, well, 0 characters or whatever, but this one has felt considerably easier than a lot of other ones. So what do you have to do? Well, first of all, you have to beat the Dam Trial. That's for the basic abilities. Beat it in under 20 turns if you want the super abilities. Basically for the 5 stars, you know, the new Garland and the new Warrior of Light. Kill him with the Limit Burst and use 6 light attacks. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about going through this fight. I don't think I'm going to actually have a really good setup because currently on the JP side it is nearly impossible to find well, basically the right kind of friend unit. And here it doesn't look like it will be, but for anybody who's wondering out there, there are 2 really good physical DPS options, although there's plenty of good physical DPS options in this one, because so long as you have really enough defense and HP, there's very little chance that you are going to run into too many problems with this. Chocobo Fina is absolutely a great one to have on this fight. She is very, very powerful to begin with. She has a great rotation. The only problem with her in the fight is, I mean, she can potentially get everything just in one go, but the major problem with her is she does not have a holy debuff. So going into this fight, I would definitely recommend trying to get somebody with a holy debuff, such as Warrior of Light. Just to show off Warrior of Light really quickly. Warrior of Light has the ability that allows him to debuff 100% for holy resistance there, and he also has... Oh, are they only 100%? I thought he had 120%, or maybe that was just parsed wrong on the Discord. That's interesting. Either that, or was there a slight nerf to Warrior of Light without me noticing? But yeah, he can debuff attack and magic. Keeping your debuff off is super important. So let's just go back, because the one that I would recommend, because it served me quite well... Oh, never mind, here are some options. I'm going to go through basically the kind of team setup, what you should look for, and what you should have for doing this fight. Where was the team I used yesterday? Not that team. Not that team. Not that team. This is the team. So my main option is Rain. Rain just has a lot of defense, which is kind of important. Chaos has AoE magic as well as AoE physical attacks. The magic is easy enough, provided you have a really good magic tank. Your magic tank should be under almost 0 threat from dying, but the thing that Rain also does really well is he just does a lot of damage. 2 Chair Rains have really the strong conviction of just getting the way under the 20 turns. I do believe it took me about 8 or 9 turns, so yeah, you can blast pretty quickly through this fight. Of course, Charlotte, the main thing is trying to get enough elemental protection. If you are going to use her as a provoke, you have to make sure that you have anti-death protection on her. Anti-death, that's right, I think. Basically, you know, the instant kill abilities, either using the safety bit or the Genji shield, however you have to do it. Any extra provoke you can put on her is important. You want Garland to be consistently targeting her to maybe, you know, hit her, knock her down, and try and kill her, of course. Chaos just doesn't have... I think I said Garland. Chaos just doesn't have any things that can pierce death resistance, so you're perfectly fine here. Also, elemental protection. The big elements here are fire, ice, lightning, water, and earth. Possibly wind too. Garland or Chaos, sorry, technically the same thing. Oh my god, spoilers on a 20-year-old video game. Anyway, over 20 years old. Lots of elemental protection is not needed so much in this, about 80% I believe on all elements, and you're totally fine. My Charlotte didn't have any problems getting through the fight. She was able to tank it quite, effectively, so that's basically what you're looking for. You want to make sure you have enough HP on your healer, though. You really, 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 really do not want your healer dying in the middle of the fight, so, as much defense and as much HP as you can get is important on basically all the characters. Having a buffer is important as well, but more importantly, a buffer with pod. You want some kind of damage reduction. Damage reduction and physical reduction, because your magic tank should be able to basically cover anything at this point, but having constant damage reduction up all the time is important. Also because Chaos enjoys dispelling a lot in the fight. And I'm just going to throw on a shield on her because I can. Make her a little extra tanky. But yeah, you want to make sure that you have a pod or something that can provide that. If not, then you're looking at AoE Mirage. Mirage should get you through physical AoE attacks that you cannot protect against, because you are going to be using a magic tank to protect against all magic damage. And again, Warrior of Light, the only reason that I have Warrior of Light as well in this party is basically because Warrior of Light is, super good right now. He is, of course, probably one of my favorite units in the entire game. But just having him with some evasion, maybe some HP, doesn't really overly matter, but yeah, just having him in the party, he can do a couple of things that are really good. If you're bringing Chocobo Fina, not only can he debuff Garland or Chaos, not only can he provide some elemental resistance, which is, kind of good. The other thing is that he can just continually just be debuffing. He can also has pretty high provoke, so you could put your death protection on him. He'd also probably absorb a lot of the physical attacks. But enough of that. Let's just kind of go in and show a few turns of the fight. Not a ton of turns because, or definitely not aiming to beat him on this one, because I don't think I will have time to do that, but we'll see what we can get done. So going into the fight, we want to make sure that we are just, we want to make sure that he is basically constantly debuffed. That is really important. Otherwise, we will die horribly. And if you can, even having 2 pods is a fantastic thing to have here. Just to take a look, we only have a single pod, so we're going to have to be a little bit more careful about that, but since Warrior of Light has lots of good defensive options, it's not overly concerning. And we're also going to show just how much damage we can dish out. Although, really, I should be doing it slightly different. We want optimal here. Optimal prime. And then I go and do the wrong thing again. Hit down here, fire, limit burst, just building that up really nicely. Chaos also does some status affliction, so no matter how you do it, you definitely want to make sure that you have protection on the entire party, so something like that. He's also going to hit quite hard here, so I do believe in my actual fight against him, I went with, so as you can see, he got a few strong hits there. Most of the physical attacks are going towards Warrior of Light, which is great, because he's evading them all. Alright, so that's pretty nice. We're going to get all our HP back. The other thing that we can do now is we can just get Primrose, or we can get Warrior of Light, just protecting us. So here we're going to go. We're going to give ourselves a nice defensive boost so that we are totally safe. We're very, very nicely protected. And now we can just go in and do some damage. show off the limit burst just because we can, and it looks really cool. Extend the sword, Rain. You have been known to extend the sword. Nice, good amount of damage in there. And we'll just throw up some elemental protection, throw up some HP regeneration, and this is when we start just throwing all of our protection up. So we're going to be also using pod, and our tank can just go into protect mode. So you can see there are some really scary physical AoE attacks. You can get around them with Mirage, but you can also get around them other ways too. Now, there is one other thing that Chaos Garland likes to do. He hasn't done it yet. I do believe he will fire it off next turn, so here we are going to just kind of get ready. And I might sneeze, so if I do sneeze, I apologize to everyone's eardrums. But yeah, some of the AoE attacks, there really isn't very much that is scary in this fight, so long as you keep damage reduction up and everything like that. You can basically get your way through this fight pretty damn easily. Alright, so we do that, we're going to debuff. Do that. We also have Charlotte's ability here, but we're not going to do it yet. We're just going to recast that. Alright, got some attacks in there, but nothing really scary. Alright, so this is the big thing that he likes to do. He likes to heal himself every so often. He likes to buff himself. All you basically gotta do to get around this is just have anybody who can do Dispel, and you're going to be just fine. So we're just gonna heal up. We're gonna take that all those nasty things right off of him. We're gonna debuff him again. Oh yeah, I do have the new attack, don't I? And we're just gonna take a look at our kits and see where we are. Running a little low, so let's just use Primrose here to buff the party, give us some nice regeneration and everything, and now we get to just go wail on him with a limit burst or two. Who am I getting? Two limit bursts. Slightly off chain there, but we're fine. Debuffing us for fire, nothing really scary, an AoE attack. But our magic tank is more than capable of keeping this fight well and truly under control. Plus, at the start of this turn, we're going to get... well, we should just basically be fine. Keeping status protection up. Alright, and here we'll just go into that. We'll do that. We will... do we want... fire limit burst damage up. We want to make sure that we're keeping the fire ability on our guy. Limit burst and damage up. Alright, and here we go. Hey, I actually managed to press the buttons at the proper time. Isn't that wonderful? And again, we are way more worried about keeping our defense up than anything. Use Warrior of Light to give us a little bit extra defense, and that. Alright, so a little scary, but nothing too bad. But as you can see, this fight is very manageable. We didn't even take that much damage that turn, so we should be really good to go here. Just double check, make sure he hasn't buffed. And say goodbye to a massive amount of his HP. And you just want to keep recasting that pod. Pod is just so important in this fight. Alright, so now we're going to use that ability, and we're going to use that ability just because it gives us a little bit of extra damage mitigation. We're going to be debuffing him again just to keep him well and truly in his place. We don't want him to get any ideas that he is better than us, and we're going to use this limit burst because we've had it for a while. And we're going to try and just squeak Chaos here down a bit. Alright, got a bit of a heal. Lena took the most damage there, but she's okay. Alright, so he still hasn't buffed himself. That's fine. We're going to go down and see. I do believe, yes, okay. However, we have to be a little slow on this one. So we're going to buff and reapply fire. Just very simple turn. Got a nice amount of damage going there. We have Primrose's limit burst. Just going to double check and make sure that everything is ready to go. And we will just heal, basically. Then again, we might just do this entire fight through since we're basically getting there. Again, just making sure that we are constantly keeping all of the debuffs up and everything. You know what? We'll even try and get some of the holy attacks in with Warrior of Light since we have a little bit of extra time here. Lot of elements, nothing very scary. He might give himself the nice buff that he loves to do ever so muchly. Nope. Alright, so we should be able to set up now for basically the final blow. We're not going to get the extra limit burst, so this might be a little dicey. You know what? Let's just squeak him down a bit. We can take a couple extra turns. We're in no hurry. So we're going to just do this, and heal. And over here, we're just going to do this, and heal. Alright, getting down right around the 30%. That's just fantastic. still some more turns before we can do that. We'll just use Warrior of Light's ability here, get a nice little defensive bonus going. And Lena will just kind of do what Lena does best. Reapply some buffs. So as you can see, this fight we have pretty well in hand. Bit of a strong attack from him in Earth, that's fine. As you can see, we've taken some hits, but we're going to get a heal right away here. He's going to get a heal right away too. Oh, look at us. So yeah, getting Dispel in this fight is super important, but this is not a difficult fight. Right, so we will heal, we'll Dispel, and we'll throw Auto Revive on, I don't know, Lena, just in case. Making sure that we are keeping him constantly debuffed. And now we set up just with our range. So we are going to use the fire, we're going to get the limit burst power, and we're going to throw a shield up just to make sure. We're not going to take any chances, of course. So fire, limit burst. I was going to do shield again, and then I realized how bad that was. Sure, let's do that. Just gonna double check where our buffs are at. We're fine there, so we can just comfortably use that. And we're also gonna make sure that we are set up. We'll only finish off by showing off Charlotte's Limit Burst. After all, it is pretty cool. Man, that still looks cool. May the days of Charlotte never die. Alright, he's throwing himself a heal. Good for him. I don't think it will really help him all that much. Because unless I screw up the frames on this one, we should basically get him killed here. Alright, so I feel like that was pretty good. And of course, we'll take a peek. This should be able to do pretty comfortably 30% of his HP. But if not, it's fine. He's going to be so close to dead that we will basically get him on the following turn. Oh, look at that. He did survive. I wonder if I accidentally did some change in my setup that just doesn't quite work as well. Okay, so this is a little scary, and this is probably pretty good because we can show off something else here. So right now he is kind of getting ready to do a kind of monster mega attack. Or, well, as close as he can get to it. So we're going to Dispel, and we're going to put Auto Revive here and Auto Revive here, because that's essentially all we need to finish this fight. So we'll just charge our Limit Burst. We'll see if we can burst him down, but I'm pretty sure we won't be able to. Because he does have damage mitigation up at this point, so that, fire, and that. Let's see where we get to. Nope, unfortunately it doesn't look like it. And right there, I almost made a giant mistake. Gotta make sure that we are debuffing him, as well as we want to get those holy attacks in. And since we just used Primrose's Limit Burst, we're going to be, like, of course, really, really careful. But yeah, firing off multiple Limit Bursts here basically keeps you entirely safe. Ah yes, the MP drain. There it is. So with enough Human Killer, that's the big killer that you need on this. This fight is pretty much over. Well, it is over. You survived last time, lad. I don't think you'll survive this time. Then again, I've been wrong before. Did he debuff or... Oh, okay. Hold on. Apologies for that one. We'll just have to take that turn one more time to show it off properly. Told you that this fight was a pretty heavy Dispel fight. But any attack buff should get us there. Which, thankfully, we do have Primrose. So, pretend that last turn just didn't happen. Now we will just attack, attack. Should make all the difference, or at least enough to solemnly beat this fight by a... Or it will leave me with 1%. Oh, how embarrassing. That's actually rather annoying. I don't know if anybody else has that happen to them very often, just slightly. I'm wondering if something got removed, or something slightly changed. It feels slightly weird. It's fine. So, how do we survive in this situation? Obviously, we're a little low on damage. We can't quite get there. We could try and irk out the 1% of damage that we still need. We don't really have anything in terms of buffs at the moment, so how do we do this? Well, let's see if we can't get it done. Alright, like that, and like that. Chaos is still debuffed, so we do have that. Oh, I know what it is. We also don't have fire. That would be the other percentage of the damage that's just... Man, I really wanted to get that last 1%. And now, we're in a really interesting spot. Slightly got greedy in the end there. Thought we had more resources than we did. And it turns out we didn't, but let's see if we can't just get there. I don't have either of my big ones, so we're going to have to just go with that and see if we can deal 2% of damage. There we go, we got there in the end. Little dicey right at the end because tried to go for the greed. It would have been better to probably just play it safer, but we did actually win the fight, so I guess that's what counts. And I do believe that I actually got... Yeah, nice. Just as the music was ending. So yeah, You have to be a little careful around certain parts of the fight. Chaos will dispel your party, and that will probably be the most dangerous part, where you can lose the fight, but he isn't as difficult as some of the other series bosses that have been out. Definitely not the most difficult one, but hey, this is trial and error. Sometimes we make mistakes. But the important thing is that at the end, we learn from them and keep pressing forward. Anyway, that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one, when we take on someone else. Not Emperor. Emperor sucks. Really hard. Anyway, that's all for now. See you next time.